How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about this whole Starbucks kerfuffle. Yes, I know this issue has been beaten to the ground. It's a dead horse that has been revitalized and then beat back to death. But there's been a video that has come out from California that was originally posted in January. We got to talk about, and there's also a protest. There's also a day of, race bias training at the end of May we got to talk about. But before we get into all that, what I'm going to do right now is go ahead and roll the video, because that is the main part of this video that I'm going to focus on is the clip from January. You're going to see what some are saying is proof of Starbucks' alleged racism against black people. After we get done watching that video, I'll talk about that video and all the other aforementioned things. Then I'll wrap it on up with a nice bow on top. So without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
How you doing, bro? What's your name?
Weston.
Weston, nice to meet you. Sorry, did anyone told you that you look like someone familiar?
No.
No, you never got that?
Yeah.
Have you purchased anything in here, sir?
No, but I was just about to go.
You about to go purchase something?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So, but before you made a purchase, they let you use the restroom, right?
I just typed in, I asked for the code.
You asked for the code and they just gave it to you,
Yeah.
right? Before you made a purchase?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Come on, let's go. Are you done? Were you about to get something?
Well, I was going to get food.
Are you going to get food?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So this is Weston. And Weston hadn't made a purchase yet, you guys. So I would like Starbucks right here on Redondo, on Artesia and Hawthorne. This man right here said he hasn't made a purchase yet. He's in line to make a purchase, and you guys had gave him the code, right? Isn't that what you did? No, this is not your business. No, this is not your business. No, this is not your business. This is not your businness. This is not your business, though. Okay, you may be the store manager, but you're not in charge. I'm not allowed to be in here anymore. Why? You see, they're so mad. Why are they upset with me, Weston? What did I do?
I don't know.
I just tried to use the bathroom like you did, and they gave it to you. Is it my skin color? 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 I couldn't use the bathroom, but Weston could.
Amen.
I feel it may be my skin color. Hey, but this is about to be on social media. It's about to go in the shade room. You guys know what this.
Okay, so you see the video, see what's going on. Now, like I said, some are trying to use this as an example of evidence of Starbucks racism. However, there are a few things missing, and I want to hear from all sides of the situation. There was not enough information in this video to prove racism. Now, I did see this guy, obviously a black guy that was filming. I saw him on a local news channel in California, and I'll put that footage in the box below. He said he went up to the front counter, asked for a code to the restroom. And by the way, this kind of proves my point that I said on different streams and social media and stuff like that about Starbucks individual locations having different policies. So everybody out there talking about, well, I went to the Starbucks and I went in there and I didn't have to buy anything to sit around and use the Wi-Fi and whatnot. Just because you were allowed to do that in that particular location does not mean it's the same way for all Starbucks across the nation. Many of them are independently owned and operated, and they have their own individual little rules about the restroom, Wi-Fi, what have you. I saw a report about this when you're talking about Starbucks in New York, and if I could find that report, I'll link to it in the box. But just in New York City, you can go to 3 different Starbucks and have 3 different policies. One Starbucks didn't have any kind of bathroom policy. You can go in there, use it, whatever. Another one, I think it was in Times Square, you got to have a code to go into the restroom, as was the case in California. And it was another one in Harlem where they had a sign on the wall in the frame that says, our seating is for paying customers only. So 3 different Starbucks in one city all have different policies. But I digress. To get back to what my man did, he goes to the counter and asks for a code. He is denied because he hadn't bought anything. He says to the person, well, I'm about to buy something. Can I get the code now? They still say no. So according to him, he's in there. I don't know if he's waiting for a while. I don't know how long he had been in there, but he witnesses a white guy go to the counter, get a code, and then go into the restroom without buying anything. So after he sees that, he waits outside the restroom for the guy to come out, and then he is instantly recording them, asking them questions about the situation. Then they go back to the counter, and that's when he had the confrontation. Now, obviously, the young lady at the counter was not white, so the whole white people are racist thing doesn't really make any sense here because she was not white. But beyond that, I don't know if anybody caught it, but she said she did not give the white guy a code. And if she was the same person that he asked for the code from originally, then she's being consistent with the store policy. Now, maybe what happened is he got the code from somebody else that happened to be behind the counter, because I saw her and somebody else behind the counter. And I don't know how long the guy had been in there who was recording. It could have been the shift change. It could have been anything, but maybe somebody did not follow the policy of the store. Who knows? Either way it goes, she said she did not give him the code. So to prove that it's an episode of racism does not make any sense. And I assume that she's the one that the black guy asked for the code, because he didn't go to anybody else. He went straight to her, although there was somebody else behind the counter. And also, I think the person was telling the truth, the lady behind the counter, that is, because the white guy who was in question about getting the code over him did not say anything when she said she did not give him the code. If it's me and the person is right there saying that she did not give me a code when she did, I'm going to say she's not telling the truth, but he didn't do that. What I want to see is everybody's side of it. I want to see the side of the guy, the white guy, the side of the guy who was filming, the black guy, the side of the young lady who's behind the counter, and the side of the other person who's behind the counter, and whoever gave the white guy the code. And that's pretty much the end of that. I think it was a big time fail as far as being able to prove racism on the side of Starbucks, because there was not enough evidence in the video to prove as such. You need to have a full and total thing there. So it was really nothing burger. But I want to move on from that right there and talk about the day of race bias training. I think it's May 29th of this year. They're going to close 8,000 Starbucks for the day to give employees this kind of training. Now, I think this is nothing more than a PR campaign. It's about marketing, because let's be clear, Starbucks, liberal central. If they see a thing like this on somebody's door, they're closed down for a day, that might heighten SJW credibility, if that makes any sense, because they say, okay, they're losing money closing their store for a day to teach their employees a proper way to handle so-called people of color, which ain't nothing but colored people backwards with an "of" in the middle, but I digress. So that may actually help them. And then they're getting all kind of publicity. You got these people coming to the places, protesting, sitting in, screaming at the baristas, all this, that, and the third. Now, I feel bad for the baristas. Shout out to you if you work at Starbucks. I'm sorry that you had to go through this. This is really not even, because people are getting screamed at that were not involved in any kind of racial stuff. It's just regular people going to work that never had any kind of problems. They're getting screamed at. It's really unfortunate. Okay, and a lot of these baristas will probably be against what happened, but they getting screamed at regardless. It's unfair. But all this attention to Starbucks ain't nothing but a big commercial. Sometimes bad publicity is bad publicity, but in this case, in my opinion, bad publicity is good publicity, because it's gonna, at the end of the day, when the smoke clears, heighten their market share in that little sphere. Because I didn't even think about Starbucks as a place you go for a meeting. I always think Panera Bread or something like that. But now Starbucks is in my mind. If I'm going to go to a meeting right quick and I'm just looking for a place, I might just pick Starbucks. Okay. And I know when I go in there, I might need to buy a coffee or something like that. I don't even drink coffee. But at the end of the day, as I close, I don't want to say this. I've been in places where I didn't buy anything, like a Panera Bread. I've been in Panera Bread and didn't buy anything, but that is that particular place I would go to that had that policy where they wouldn't really enforce it if they did have a policy, or it was no policy there to begin with about you got to buy something. However, if somebody came up to me and said, "Sir, you've been here for a while. We need you to buy something. Be a paying patron, or we're going to ask you to leave." I'm like, "All right, cool. Give me a bagel or something like that, something cheap." I mean, that's not really a serious thing to ask somebody. Just like when I went to the grocery store with a $10 bill trying to get a roll of quarters. I was trying to go to the laundromat and wash some big sheets, comforter, whatever. And then the lady was like, "Well, you got to buy something aside from that." So I'm like, okay, cool. I just looked behind me, got some candy for like $2. It didn't even really matter. I was just trying to get the quarters. You see what I'm saying? So it wasn't really a big deal. I'm not going to be in there huffing and puffing, all this, that, and the third. That's their policy. I abide by the policy where I don't. If I can't get what I want from there, I go somewhere else and try and get it. It's really just that simple. Ain't nothing else to it. But that's pretty much all I got for this video. So what do you think? Do you think that the video I played earlier proves that Starbucks has inherent racism in their company? If that's your case, please explain to me why. there's going to be 8,000 Starbucks stores closed on that racial bias preparation day. I'm not sure if that's every Starbucks in the U.S., but that's 8,000 stores minimum in the U.S. that are out there. So do you think that these isolated incidents that happen in one store or two stores represent all 8,000 stores? Is that what you think for real? It doesn't make any sense to me, but maybe you think that way. If you think that way, please explain to me why. Or do you think that I'm correct with what I'm saying here about Starbucks not being inherently racist from these isolated incidents? A situation with the video I played earlier is not enough info there to make a affirmative conclusion to say, oh, they're racist or they're not racist. I don't know what's going on. It's hard to tell. All I know is what I see on the video, and I would like to have more information to really make a sound assertion. But what I can say is that the claims of racism in that particular case aren't proven. There's not enough evidence to say so, because the main thing, like I said, is that the lady behind the counter said, I did not give him the code, meaning the white guy. And obviously, since the black guy who was recording came to her first and started talking and started questioning her, that means he went to her and tried to get the code and did not get it. So she is being consistent, but maybe somebody else that was working there ain't the same way. You know how it is. You go to a particular place and, you know, if you got this person working, you may be able to, you know, do some things you can't do with somebody else working. If the manager is there, everybody's got to be different. If the big boss, the corporate executive is there, everybody got to be different. That's how it is. So maybe the manager wasn't there. I don't know what's happening, but whatever the case may be, whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.